What's going on, guys? This week, I'm going to be talking about knowing what you should improve on. And I'll start off by saying this. I once heard Kobe Bryant say in an interview many years ago, a couple years ago, he said, guys always ask me when they see me, they say, how do I get better? How do I improve? How do I get to the level that you got to? Or how do I get to a pro level? How do I make myself better? And he says, my answer is always the same. Only you know how to make yourself better. That's not something that I can tell you. He said, only you know what you need to improve on. Only you know where your weaknesses are, what you can and can't do on the floor, and what you need to get better at. That's something only you know. I haven't seen you play. I'm not a part of your game. Your game may not be the same as mine, but only you know what you stand to get improvement in. And so I want to talk about that a little bit today, because not about myself, but about certain guys in the league who have been in the league 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9, 10 years, that have obviously not improved on the things that have been hindering them and have been weaknesses for them for their entire time in the league. So what brought me into talking about this today was none other than Draymond Green. So, basketball fans, I know we recently watched the Golden State Warriors play in the NBA play-in tournament before the playoffs started. First against the LA Lakers, where they lost a close one to them by 3 points. And then again, they get a second round chance against the Memphis Grizzlies, where they lose in overtime by 5. Stephen Curry, who was at the time pretty hot, shooting the ball well, doing the bulk of the scoring for his team, get double teamed at half court, where the Memphis Grizzlies completely leave Draymond Green open, leaving him with a wide open three, a wide open lane to the basket, anything he really wanted to do. And he could not make a decision with the ball and decide the best way to score. This brought me to talk about this. How are guys playing at such a high level for such a long period of time not improving on certain things? Now, don't get me wrong, I love Draymond Green's game. I'm not a Draymond Green fan, but I completely respect his game. Draymond Green is a defensive player of the year, first team all defensive team several times, and an NBA champion. Great player, great facilitator, great basketball IQ. But this past season, Stephen Curry was second in overall MVP voting, mainly because people watched the Golden State Warriors play this season and said, Steph has no help. He's doing it all himself. Without Clay and without KD, Steph is doing it by himself. He's carrying the team. He has another all-star and defensive player of the year, former defensive player of the year, right there on his team playing alongside him. Draymond isn't hurt, or he hasn't been for the most of the season. Draymond isn't gone. He isn't on a different team like KD. Draymond is right there. He was there for the playing game. He was there for the majority of the season. And yet we look at the team and we say, wow, Steph has no help. So I want to talk about this because we've always looked at Draymond Green as a great defensive player. We've never looked at him as a scorer. He's never, in his entire career, averaged more than 14 points. So he's never been a prolific scorer. He's always averaged over 5 assists, with the exception of his first 3 seasons. He's averaged more than 5 assists every year since. This past season, he averaged almost 9 assists a game, and he's always averaged steals and close to a block a game over his career. But we've never looked at him as a scorer. Nonetheless, we still should not look at Draymond Green as why does the defense, rather, look at Draymond Green as somebody we can leave over? As we just saw in the clip, we see the Memphis Grizzlies make a conscious decision to say, Steph won't beat us. Whatever Draymond Green does with the ball, we'll live with. And that is sad for a former All-Star. For them to make a decision, it was obvious that they said, nope, Draymond can do whatever, but Steph won't win the ball game for y'all. And they had to go to overtime with that. And before that even happens, in the first play-in game, Draymond Green plays against the Lakers in game 1 and does not make a single field goal in 41 minutes. 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. Granted, he had 9 rebounds and 8 assists. And granted, he played great defense on Anthony Davis, who shot terrible from the field, and he guarded him for the majority of the game. But they lose that game because someone on their team plays 41 minutes and gives them 0 field goals and 2 points from the free throw line. I just find it hard to believe that we accept that from him. And like I said earlier, Draymond Green is still a great player. I take nothing away from Draymond. But in the amount of time that he's been in the league, you would just think that by now he would say, let me work on my finishing ability. Let me work on my spot up 3. Let me work on a mid-range so I cannot be a liability on his offensive end, alongside other great players like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. What about me? And this is something that kind of touches home for me because I'm a Giannis Antetokounmpo fan. And people mess with me all the time about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Oh, he doesn't have a jump shot. He has no skill. He can't do anything but dunk. He can't do anything but lay the ball up. And to an extent, that's kind of true. And I hate that about him. I wish he would work on these things because I feel like his ability to just dunk on someone, just to lay the ball up over someone with his athleticism and his size and his height is a crutch almost to him because he hasn't learned anything past that. Or maybe he's tried and it's just not coming to him. But as of right now, we can't say that. We can't say he has a whole lot of skill. We can't say he has a great jump shot. We can't say he has many scoring moves that aren't finishing around the rim. Right now, we can't. And it's time for him to work on these things. And I say that because I can relate to these guys. I remember when I was a high school kid who could just out-athlete people, as my junior college coach once said to me. He said, Nelson, sometimes you get rebounds just because you out-athlete people. But if you learn to box out, your rebounds will increase. When I left JUCO and I went to Columbus and I came here to Columbus State, my coaches said, Nelson, you can no longer out-athlete people here. This is a higher level. Guys are just as athletic or bigger than you. There'll be guys that's 6'9", 6'10", sometimes 7 foot that you'll have to guard and play against every day. And you can no longer out-athlete these guys. You have to be skilled. You have to be disciplined. You have to do the things that make you a good basketball player. And so that is what I currently have to struggle with and work on. So here we are, years into these guys' careers, and they are still not working on the things that they're clearly lacking in. Not just Draymond, not just Giannis, guys like Ben Simmons, guys like Giannis' younger brother, Thanasis, guys like Joel Embiid, who's developed somewhat of everything in the game, but then somewhat relies on the jumper so much because he feels like he's good enough at it. So these are the things we have to, as players, we just gotta keep grinding these things. These are the things we can't forget about. When we want to be good, when we want to go from good to great, we have to grind the things that we know we struggle with. And that's all I wanted to say. I appreciate you guys for listening. Please tune in next time. We out.